uh-oh, the fridge is warm. So why is it that your refrigerator is warm, but the freezer is nice and cold? Why is that? So today I'm going to review some of the main causes to this, and we'll have you back up and running in about a half an hour. It's a very simple fix for you. So if your refrigerator is warm and your freezer is cold, this is the part a lot of people don't know. I bet you're going to be surprised to find out. The refrigerator does not make itself get cold. The refrigerator gets its cold air from the freezer. So when you open the freezer and you look in the back here, like this one, you see this fan is blowing around here? It blows the cold air down the air duct into the refrigerator. So now the question is, well, why isn't the cold air making it from the freezer down here into the fridge? Because you can see that's the apparatus in the back is where it's supposed to come in from, through that air duct. Why isn't it coming in cold? I'm also going to give you some warnings today here about your gaskets that go around the freezer door and your refrigerator door, because sometimes this is the cause of your problem. Before you do anything, before we start taking apart the back looking for ice, I want you to just double check. Do you see any frost buildup anywhere? And if you do, that means you have to do a manual defrost where we're going to unplug the fridge, open the door, take all the food out, put it in coolers or the other fridge or whatever. And then we want to make sure, are we blocking the airflow here? See, I can feel the airflow right now. But you want to make sure that you don't put a bunch of bags in there that get caught up on these vents here, and so now that the air has nowhere to flow. And then likewise here in the refrigerator, I want you to check way back in the back here, feel where the air should come in from, the cold air. Make sure that that port is not being blocked by anything. So if that's not your problem and everything's fine there, then that means we have a blockage of the air somewhere. And a blockage of the air means one of two things. It means that it means you have ice on the condensers here and everything's clogged in there, it's all frozen up. Or it means your damper is bad. The damper is back in here, in the back here, and it opens and closes all day long to maintain just the right temperature in your refrigerator from the cold air that's coming in from the freezer. Okay, but I can tell you that the fan here, the evaporator fan right inside this housing, is the much more common failure of the two parts. But ice on the evaporator coils is the #1 failure. So that's what we're going to check first. On this freezer, you just loosen the hex nuts on either side there of the evaporator cover to inspect behind it. Yeah. So here, I've taken the panel off there and moved it out of the way. You can see all of the ice and the frost that's collected all over there on the fins. But if you look at the bottom, see, that's where the drain is. And since it's all frozen, of course, you're not going to have cold air making it down from the freezer down to your refrigerator, because that's where your refrigerator gets cold from. It gets it from the freezer and it comes down in through this guy and then it comes out. So if your fridge is ever warm, you want to reach in back on the back here, see if you feel any cold air coming out of there. So taking another close look at it, and I'll zoom into it there, that is the 1/2 inch by 3 inch wide, the little port that sends the cold air from the freezer down to the fridge, and it is completely clogged with ice. So here you see we just take a regular hair dryer, you set it on high, in high heat, and you'll put it up as close as you can to the fins. Don't let it touch the fins because you don't want to bump them, because it will actually make them almost like aluminum foil. They'll just twist around on each other. Now, depending on how much ice and frost you had built up there, it can take a good 15 or 20 minutes for it all to melt. So you're going to find out that it's probably best to just lay it down like you see here and just let it sit there and blow in the same place for a few minutes. And then after that ice melts, you kind of change the direction of it and let it blow into one of the other areas there in just over the 10 or 15 minutes time. But you want to make sure every single bit of ice is 100% melted there. And then we'll take cloths and dry out the entire freezer afterwards. And then as you can see here, there's where the ice was, and there's still a little bit of it there. That's on that air duct that leads down to the refrigerator below. So you can still see a little bit of ice on there that needs to melt off. And we're going to try to get a view looking down it so you can see, you know, just how the air gets all the way down into the refrigerator below the freezer. See it? And it's very similar in side-by-side and French air. There's always some sort of air duct or channel that leads to the refrigerator from the freezer. And so in this case here, you can see where the holes are and see how the water's dripping there? That's because the ice is melting. So that's a good sign. So you want to see all of that water dripping there. You can put a little pot or a pan in there and just collect up all of that water as it's dripping down. But there's our proof that the ice is melting. And after about 5 minutes or so, you can see there's still ice on those fins, but you have to stay the course until it's all gone. But at least now you can see the little drain there that's on that the silver part, the metal at the bottom beneath the fins. That's what drains down below to it goes down on like a little rubber hose down to the bottom pan of your refrigerator. So now that the ice is melting, all of that water is draining down to the very bottom of your fridge. So you may see a little overflow on the floor. It just all depends on how much ice you had and how much water melted off from it. I also like to use my little Ryobi LED light. It's like an area light that really fills the freezer with light, because when you're working back in there, you can never have too much light. It's actually very dark back in there without this light in there. So you can see we've got most of the ice melted by now. Then once you look down below into the refrigerator and you see that the water is not dripping like it was before, it's pretty much at an end, you know you got all of the ice melted above it. And remember, you should see all of the ice dripping off of the fins there and melting and going down the little drain that's in there at the bottom. You also want to make certain here that the water is indeed draining out there. You don't want it collecting on this pan either, because it's just going to freeze over all over again on you. And also, by making sure that all of the water drains out of there, you're making sure that there's no frozen plugs anywhere in that tube that runs down to the bottom of the fridge pan. So you got to make sure now you want to get all of the water droplets dried off as much as you can. There, see on the right side, there's some sweating that was on there too. You want to get all of that dried off. And you can also get it with a towel too. And then up in the ceiling there, see that on the roof of the freezer? So you see how the fan sits right here and it circulates the air and it forces it down to the bottom. And then when you come and look on the bottom side of it there, you can see how the ice plug is coming out of there? See that? So it was all clogged up with ice here, and you can see it's still falling down. There's still ice coming out of there. Now it's clean, see? Nice and clear in there. So that's your pathway from the freezer down to the refrigerator. And so now it has been unplugged officially. So now we're going to reattach the rear panel again, back like it was. And hopefully we'll find those screw holes, one there and one there. So we want to make sure that this goes into that big opening that leads down to the refrigerator. So you can make sure you have a good sealed duct contact. See, boom, it clicks down into place like that. If it doesn't do that, then don't screw it in yet, because your work isn't done. Now we can go ahead and screw this in. And we'll do the other side. Now we just want to clean all of this off here. The top, the sides, the bottom, everything needs to be 100% dry. Now everybody's fridge always has messes all over around the frame, and especially where the magnetic weather stripping there seals up against the frame. So both surfaces have to be clean. You have to go all the way around. All the doors, the freezer door, get all of the weather stripping and make sure that there's not a stain on there. When you're done, you want to feel it. Make sure you don't feel any stickiness or any other kind of liquids or anything. And for some of you, if your weather stripping is rotted out, that could be why you got frost in the freezer in the first place. So this is a good time to replace it. And I always suggest that you get the original one from the manufacturer. Do not buy the cheaper ones on Amazon that come folded up because they don't seal flat against the surface like they should. See, this one was a teeny bit of a problem, but this one is manageable, you see right there. So you have to make sure that your seal is completely sealed, that there is no opening. So once there's some weight on this door, it'll swing and close a little bit better, and that will close up. Otherwise, you're going to have air leaking in there. That's part of the problem. You want it to be like that. See, when the door closes, you want to make sure it can close. See how you got that? I can see the light coming in from inside the freezer. See, you want to make sure that your refrigerator is leaning back a little bit so that it will close better. And when you have the weight of items on there, it will seal better too. See, it should suck in real good along there, so that when you're looking, so you should not see any gaps at all. This is textbook right here, because this is a brand new seal that we just picked up. And as you look all the way down the bottom, it should look like this all the way down. You don't want any air leaks at all. And you need to test all the sides. See, that's a perfect seal for the freezer right there. Going all the way up. And you have to get down on your knees and look underneath the freezer. See, and I already see a problem. See that little dip right there that's kind of poking out? Watch that. You see that? You can see it right there. It should be a lot more sealed up against the refrigerator. Sometimes the seals on these don't fit in very good there. They don't fit in nice and tight. You can experiment with gluing them into the track in there. Okay, so these just slide down on the notches. So you put that side there and on this side here. And you snap right into place. Make sure they're in good, because if they're loose, all of your food's going to fall out. And you put the other one in. Then for the metal shelf, it's a little bit tricky, but you put it in at an angle and you put the left side in there first. And once it's in, you kind of force it down a little on the right and into that hole and then over to the right. Okay, so now you need to pay attention to some of the testing we need to do, especially with the seals. But anyway, we're starting off right here at 70 degrees, and we're going to turn the power back on. There it is, on the fridge. And now we're going to close both doors, and we'll see how long it takes for it to get cold. And one thing I always tell people to do is when you're nearing the end of your repair, make sure you put all of your tools right back in the exact spot where they came out from. Don't leave them on the counter or something later, and oh, I'll get to it later, because you won't get to it later. And 6 months down the road, you're going to end up with a hoarder's garage. And check it out, 10 minutes later, it's already down to about 55 degrees or so. Down below, I can feel a little bit of cool air coming in from right down here. So here we are 2 hours later. Let's see what the temperature looks like in the refrigerator there. Yeah, see, look, it's in between 40 and 50 degrees. So we know it's working because we didn't have this cool of a temperature before. And you can definitely feel the cold air coming in now. And 4 hours later, look at that, it's all the way down to 40 degrees already. Things are starting to feel cold now. Houston, we have a problem. This spot right here is leaking hot air from the garage into the freezer. See that right there? That has to be fixed. Hot air is seeping inside the freezer through that connection right there, just because it's not sealed nicely. So even though the rest of it is, just that little opening right there is all it takes. But you can see right here, it's kinking in. See that? Right there. We have to fix this. So we pulled the rubber seal off of the freezer door, and you can see I've got it marked there with a vertical mark. And so that's the area where the dip is. And so we're going to shim up underneath it to sort of make it convex instead of concave. And then we'll apply a little bit more shim to make sure that the dip is gone. And then we'll apply heat with the hair dryer there, and it should hopefully form it into shape and stay there. The heat from the hair dryer will reform this rubber. Yeah, you want to make this rubber stick out more like this instead of dipping down, because that's what was forming that gap.
A few minutes later.
Now I've reseated it into the freezer door. Remember, there's my marks right there. So we're going to check that seal. See that? Now it's perfect. This should fix it completely 100% now, and we should not see this problem come back. See, it looks perfect. You have to check every quarter of an inch all the way around. Slowly make sure that seal is perfect. Because these are the things that people don't think about. And these are the things that other DIY home repair videos, the little 2-minute videos, don't think to teach you either. But this is the most important part. And everybody forgets to check along the top. So make sure you check along that top there. Make sure that's sealed also. And earlier I told you about my warnings for the gaskets. Now, sometimes you're going to find that your gaskets are degrading a bit, and if they do, the warm, moist air gets into the freezer, and then it can start frosting everywhere, and it causes ice to build up back in the compressor. The big mistake that people make when they order these gaskets from online or whatever is make sure you always buy the original equipment manufactured one, the OEM, from your refrigerator manufacturer. You can get them on Amazon. I bought mine on Amazon. I'll put the links down below for you, and you can go there, and then from there just start the search to see which one applies to your particular freezer or refrigerator door. But the reason why you want to buy the original equipment manufactured one is they ship it in the full-size box with the gasket already flattened out. If you buy those cheapy $30, $40, $50 ones from, which are also on Amazon, but they're from third-party manufacturers that are cheapy manufacturers, the quality's not as good, and they come twisted and wrinkled and folded over, and they're kinked. And now you have to spend hours or let it sit overnight trying to get this thing to form flat, and it's almost impossible to get it to form perfectly flat because it's impossible to get rid of those kinks. So let us know in the comments below if any of these fixes worked for you. And then also make sure you check out these other 2 videos here, because this one here is another great video we uploaded that gives you a bunch of different reasons why your water dispenser failed in your refrigerator. And then this one over here tells you why your fan in the back is making that squeaky noise, loud squeaky noise. Why is my refrigerator making that loud noise? So thank you for joining us, and we'll see all of you on the next one.